July 2017, just a few days to the general election, David Murathe said something which didn't make sense to me at that particular time. But whatever David Murathe said then is now making sense to me. David Murathe told the entire country that should President Uhuru Kenyatta win that particular election, Kenyans were going to witness a more ruthless President Uhuru Kenyatta, and that the president was going to be more assertive, and the president was going to focus more on his legacy. And he mentioned several things, including the fight against corruption. And when David Murathe made those statements, personally, I want to be honest, I thought David Murathe was addressing Raila Amolo Odinga. It didn't occur to me that David Murathe was actually sending a strong message to the deputy president William Samoei Ruto on how the president was going to deal with him after that particular election. Because David Murathe even went further and stated that those who thought they were going to deal with the president the way they've been dealing with him should be prepared for a shock.
He remains focused on where he wants to take this country. I'm very sorry for people after Uhuru gets re-elected, because I believe his agenda will be his legacy issues, which will be law, order, discipline, and the fight against corruption. If anybody thinks they can walk in the final term of Uhuru with anything that smells of corruption, I'm very sorry of him. I know this is somebody who will go even after his own friends like David Murathe. If I ever get involved in anything in the next term, that will be his legacy. He will jail all of us. That you can take to the bank. You will see him in his true colors. Right now, he was still wooing the chick. Now the chick will be in the house. Now she will see the man in his true colors. And the guy will nyorosha this place. That you can take to the bank. Oh yeah. He's been a bit kid gloves. What I'm saying is that in the next administration, it will be gloves off. It will be bare knuckles. And it doesn't matter whether you're his brother, whether you're his friend, whether you are who.
No, that's David Murathe then. I'm giving you that background because yesterday, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Fred Okengo Matiangi, is alleged to have told the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto, to resign if he was not comfortable with the way the government was conducting its business in regards to the arrest of the 3 senators. Now, let us go back a bit into the history of this dynamic duo and what David Murathe said at that time. Now, we all know that after that general election, which was bitterly contested and NASA boycotted a rerun, the president also delayed in naming his cabinet. There were 2 competing interests. The president wanted a cabinet which was going to help him realize his legacy. The deputy president had also delivered to the president. And the deputy president wanted a cabinet which was going to help him achieve his 2022 political objectives. So they could not agree. And the president then named his cabinet. And for the first time, the president named the cabinet without the presence of his deputy behind him. Because these were dynamic duo. And that was the first time Kenyans were told, was actually reported, that there was a fallout between these 2 gentlemen. So the president went ahead and named this cabinet without the presence of his deputy. And even before 3 months later, even before long, the president again shocked the entire country by shaking the hands of Raila Amolo Odinga. And in my view, that's what changed the political landscape in this country completely. And so far up to now, nobody understands the main motive behind the president reaching out to Raila Amolo Odinga. Because in 2017, they had managed to garner absolute majority in parliament and at the Senate. So they didn't need the support of Raila Odinga. If the president wanted any legislative agenda to be passed in parliament, he would have easily done that without the support of NASA. And again, the president would have decided to do one thing. He would have even decided to reach out to one of the partners in NASA to form a coalition with them. So he didn't really need the NASA. But now we were in a situation where the president, with absolute majority, decided to reach out to Raila Odinga. Of course, there are several reasons which have always been given for the president and Raila Odinga's handshake. One of them was that the deputy president actually wanted to impeach the president. I don't know the truth about that, but in the political circles, that's one of the stories which is normally advanced as to why the president reached out to Raila Odinga. Then after that, before long, again, these guys unveiled the Building Bridges initiative. And this is what actually gave birth to the mistrust between the president and his deputy. Because the deputy president knew so well that the president by that time was now not very keen on leaving office. And he also understood that Raila Odinga still has political ambitions. So he knew that this Building Bridges initiative was actually a strategy to create room for the president and also to allow Raila Odinga space to run the government. So the problems in Jubilee began almost during those times. And remember, the deputy president had embarked on early campaigns. Immediately he was sworn in. They had the powers because in the first term of Uhuru Kenyatta's term, in the first term of President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime, the deputy president was actually the de facto president. He was doing everything. He had actually overshadowed the president to some extent. During some time, I remember there was this story that the deputy president told people in Kalenjin that tule jamaa anakunywa tu pombe yeye ndiye anaendesha serikali. So the early campaigns, the president said, stop them. It didn't stop. So the deputy president still continued. So in January 2019, the president then issued executive order number 1. And in that executive order, the president appointed Fred Okengo Matiangi as the supervisor of all cabinet ministers in the country. Effectively, Fred Okengo Matiangi became the prime minister of the Republic of Kenya. So what that executive order achieved was to reduce the powers of the deputy president. But again, the deputy president still did not stop early campaigns. The deputy president still embarked on them, but now through the members of parliament, through launch of CDF projects, through church arambes, and the rest. And before we knew, the deputy president had been reduced to just a mere launching of buses and the rest. And then now the president focused on Jubilee Party. In Jubilee Party, the president started now taking control of Jubilee Party. And we witnessed how the management committee of Jubilee Party was changed by force. Before we knew, the president had taken control of Jubilee Party. He then went to parliament. The president took control of parliament. And that has been the journey in Jubilee Party. And so far, personally, I've never understood the main objective why the president decided to part ways with his deputy. But again, before even we go into the Jubilee politics, there was also the war on corruption. And this war on corruption was actually targeted at the deputy president and his allies. Because the government had realized, the system, or Uhuru Kenyatta and his system, had realized that the deputy president had so much money at his disposal. So they wanted to cut the source of those money. They wanted the taps to run dry. So wakajaribu kufunga hii hapa. So they arrested those who they believe were helping the deputy president raise money for campaigns. We remember the arrest at Kenya Power Company. We remember the arrest at Kenya Pipeline. We remember all those arrests. But the deputy president still continued. So yesterday, Fred Okengo Matiangi appeared before the Senate. And before Fred Okengo Matiangi made the appearance, the senators, the first day he didn't make the appearance. So the senators had actually warned Fred Okengo Matiangi against disobeying them. So yesterday, Fred Okengo Matiangi just drove himself to the members of parliament, to the senators. And I really laughed because once he drove himself there, all the senators were actually laughing at Fred Okengo Matiangi. I've seen pictures of almost all senators walking as if they wanted to be the ones closer to Fred Okengo Matiangi. So that tells you that Fred Okengo Matiangi is actually a very powerful man in this government. But the question is assuming Fred Okengo Matiangi uttered those words. Because I watched the NTV, which reported this. I've tried reviewing those clips. They were saying that in that meeting, the media were locked out. So if the media were locked out of that meeting, the question is, how did they get to know about what Fred Okengo Matiangi said? So of course, probably there was a member of a senator there who leaked what Matiangi said in that meeting. But assuming Matiangi said or uttered those words, why would Matiangi utter those words? Why would he challenge the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto, to resign? Why would he challenge him? Because you all know that the deputy president was actually elected. He was not appointed. And constitutionally, the deputy president office is protected in the constitution. Fred Okengo Matiangi today, the president can wake up and fire him. The same cannot be said of the deputy president. In fact, if there's one thing that the deputy president should thank the people who drafted the constitution, was this idea of protecting the deputy president. Without that, I'm sure the deputy president would have been kicked out of office long time ago. But why would Fred Matiangi, who is an appointee, who is ideally supposed to be junior to the deputy president, ask the deputy president to resign if he's not comfortable with what the government is doing? Of course, you understand. The deputy president should have been one of the people who understood what the government was doing, especially in regards to those arrests. But in this case, as I want to believe, he was not aware. But what message was Fred Okengo Matiangi trying to send? Number one, in my view, is just this extension of provoking the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto, to respond. So far, the deputy president has achieved one thing. He has declined, or he has refused to attack President Uhuru Kenyatta directly. But the other day, the deputy president did that through a tweet, where he accused the government of misusing the police, where he told the president that we were not elected by millions of Kenyans to do whatever the president was doing. So I think Fred Okengo Matiangi wanted to provoke the deputy president to react, so that after that reaction, then we were going to witness what was going to happen. Because remember, the president actually sent all cabinet secretaries under all the cabinet secretaries and because you all know that the president sent all the cabinet secretaries on recess. So you'd have expected Fred Okengo Matiangi not to be talking, because we were expecting the president to reshuffle the cabinet. And based on what Fred Okengo Matiangi is doing here, I am sure he was acting under instructions to provoke the deputy president so that the deputy president can respond. Number two, I think we can also conclude that the deputy president doesn't have a role in this government. Constitutionally, he's the principal assistant to President Uhuru Kenyatta. That's constitutionally. And it ends there. He has not been assigned any role. Because why would a cabinet secretary, as powerful as the interior, challenge the deputy president to resign if he's not comfortable with that particular arrangement? Does it mean that when these three senators were being arrested, the deputy president was not consulted? Because in a working system, the deputy president, being the principal assistant to the president, would have been in the loop. Of course, there is no way a member of parliament, a senator, can be arrested, the three of them, without direct authority from the president, because, of course, they normally they normally pose what we call the risk, security risk. So before you arrest a senator, no police can just wake up to go and arrest a senator. Several things has to be done. They have to survey the reactions of people. So, and probably even the Security Council has to be informed, so that when those arrests are effected, the security agencies are ready. So does it mean the deputy president was not part of any involvement in this particular matter? And number three, I also think that Fred Okengo Matiangi understands the relationship between the president and his deputy. He understands that the president doesn't have regards for his deputy. So he can just talk the way he was talking. Because if the president had regards for his deputy, there is no way Fred Okengo Matiangi would have utter those words because he understands that my boss has deep respect for the deputy president. So I can't just talk carelessly. Indeed, Fredo King Matiangi statement send a message. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. And one thing I can tell you for sure, that is that this relationship has reached a boiling point. Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto's divorce is imminent. And because it has reached a boiling point, we can only expect 2 or 3 things. The first thing we can expect is that the deputy president can opt to resign. But can the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya resign? Can he leave the comfort of Karen, what the official residence of the deputy president is providing, to go and operate from his own residence in Karen? Can the deputy president allow that? I don't think so. Alternatively, these guys are trying to put pressure on this man to resign because we all know that constitutionally the deputy president also cannot be kicked out. So is it possible that these guys are trying to pile pressure on the deputy president to resign? And lastly, I also believe that probably these guys wants to frustrate and intimidate the deputy president. I don't know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And those who are watching this video, please, for the first time, please click subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. To the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support. Without the support, this channel cannot be where it is today. It's been here because of your support. And the only request I always make on this platform is that you guys help me create interactions. How do you do that? Give the video thumbs up if you like it, or thumbs down if you don't like it. Because if you like it, then I know this video was good. If the thumbs down are many, I know there's something which was not wrong. So I can always improve. But the best one is just to drop your comments. Because the moment you drop your comments, then we read them, we get interactions, people respond, I respond, then we get more ideas. And those ideas help us a lot in improving the channel. So just drop your comments. In the next 1 or 2 hours, I'll be reading each and every comment and responding to them. And of course, most of these video ideas, I also get them from the comments. So it's just important that if your voice can be heard, just drop your comment. And lastly, which is also the best one, is just to share the videos in your WhatsApp groups, in Facebook, on Twitter, every other place you can share them. Thank you guys, and please may you enjoy your day.